we're gonna go over obviously the pairs that we trade, which is gonna be gold and US30. So let's start off first with US30, which is my most traded pair. I just want to show you guys how the switch of structure has happened from the previous breakdowns that I've gave you last week. So if you guys go from the weekly time frame, you guys can obviously see that the weekly has now broken the structure from the previous weekly lows, as you guys can see over here, which is the previous wicks. You guys can go into a daily. You guys can see how it was this wicks over here from the weeklies were previous daily candles, right? As you guys can see, those were obviously higher lows, and higher lows. You guys can see that price already has broken under those entire structures, right? So the weekly, we already know that is bearish. The daily time frame, we also know that we're bearish, right? Again, we're breaking under these daily / weekly candles, higher lows, which as you guys can see in the 4-hour time frame, price is going back and retesting it using as resistance, right? You guys can see a switch of structure also from the 4-hour time frame. We are obviously heading to the upside, creating these higher highs and higher lows. Continues, and then we form this new high going here, low, lower high, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and then lower highs. Simple, right? You guys can see how this structure is over here. Support turns into resistance. You guys literally can just copy and paste this and just continue basically basically it just continues to hit the whole entire same thing. So check this out. What I'm gonna be waiting for tonight, not really tonight, but mostly for tomorrow morning, since I'm not gonna be trading right now. Right now, I did end up taking a loss with gold, which I'm gonna explain to you guys right now. But I am actually interested in continuing taking those long positions as well. But check this out. What I'm going to be waiting for US30 in these next couple days, right? Most likely, if it happens tomorrow, I'm going to be taking this position tomorrow. If it happens the next day or maybe even this morning, I will be interested in taking them as well. But I'm literally going to be waiting for the same exact move that happened here, and then I'm waiting for price to do the same exact thing, which is going to be roughly around the 38 to 30 ranges, right? So what I'm going to be waiting for is obviously the pullback here. Make sure that price remains itself under. You got to retest the structure. You guys can look left. Is also an area of support. We're holding this area of support, so pretty much just waiting for price to pull back into the structure, retest it. If we use it as resistance, then we're interested in continuing looking for sells, and then we can target back down into these lows, which will be roughly around the 37,800, 37,780 ranges, right? Now 37,830, 37,780 range is going to be this structure over here, which is another structure that you guys definitely want to keep an eye on as well, which is, you guys can see, is an area of support, which at one point it was used as resistance. This is when the whole entire bullish bias started happening, the beginning of the year, right? This is one of the resistance that price has broken above it. We did use it as support, which caused this entire push back into the upside, right? You guys can pretty much see this, and now it looks like price can possibly head back down into these lows over here. So let's say that we don't get those pullback yet here first, right? This is definitely another zone you guys definitely want to keep an eye on as well, which is 37,830. So if we don't get those pullback here tomorrow morning, but we do see that price is around these ranges over here, just make sure that price just rejects it, remain itself above these two zones, give you guys a great bullish confirmation, and you guys will be interested or pretty much good to continue looking for buys back into the upside. Again, this will be the target. You guys already know what happens over here, and let's say if it doesn't reject and it just continues breaking above, just simply make sure that price can just retest it, holds above this area again of support. You guys already know support, and then you guys can obviously continue back into the next target, which will be from right there, and then from there on I will give you guys another breakdown. Let's move into gold right now, which is a position that I just end up taking a loss. I'm going to explain to you guys exactly why did I end up taking this position. But overall with gold, I am still interested in looking for buy position. I'm going to show you guys the levels that I'll be interested, right? But check this out. The weekly candles, we're closing above the previous weekly structure, which we remain still bullish. Same thing with the daily, same thing with the 4-hour time frame. We are bullish, right? Now on Friday, we did have some very heavy sells that happened roughly around the 2430, which is not really an area that you guys want to keep in, maybe haven't marked up, but it's not like an area that I'm going to keep looking an eye on until price reaches this area. But if we don't reach at this area at this point, I'm not really going to be interested in the zones. But definitely keep an eye around this right now, these zones that we're currently in right now, which is going to be the 2360, and then we can also look at the 2325, which is going to be this zone of support, right? So this afternoon I did send up a buy limit, which was pretty much the pullback, right? As you guys can see, we did end up breaking above it. I just end up sending a sell limit around this structure, which unfortunately price just kept breaking under, then I really respect my zone. But again, I will be interested in taking that same exact buy position again if price does manage to break above again, right? So check this out. What I'm going to be waiting for tonight or during the London session or tomorrow morning, I'm going to be waiting for price to give me the same move. A break above it, 2360, right? 2360, 2365. We can also mark this one over here. Let me just make sure I'll put this correctly. Something like this. 2365 would be dope. Yeah. So a break above these two zones, 2360, 2365. Make sure that we do have, I will personally wait for an H1 candle closure, right? So something like this candle closure, I would rather wait for it to be closure as a bullish candle above it, right? Obviously it has to remain itself above. And then you guys want to go to the lower time frame, which will be roughly the 15-30 minute time frame. You guys want to wait for those pullback, make sure that price does remain itself above it. If it does, you guys are good to continue looking for those buys, and then you guys can target back into 2382, which will be my first target. If the bullish bias continues breaking up, 2396, 2397 is going to be my second target. So this will be the area of interest that I'll be interested in taking this buy position this morning, or again, like I explained, with gold, if obviously we get those pushed right now. Let's say that price rejects it, right? I'm not going to be really interested in looking for any trades pretty much inside this ranges over here. Maybe I would look, depends on the setup that it would give me. But again, I'm like, just by looking at it, I really won't be interested in taking any trade. But definitely going to keep an eye on around the 2325, which is again, this area of support. And if you guys remember, last week, I did explain you guys this buy position over here that we end up taking on a Monday, right? Pretty much the same buy position that happened here. We end up taking it on a Monday as well. This position was also breaking down for you guys, can go all the way back from last week breakdown, literally last week breakdown from today day, which is let's say Monday, right? From today day of last week, I did explain to you guys this buy position that you guys could have caught back into the upside. Notice how on CPI news, price came back into it, we remained itself above it. The next day we also remained itself above it, which obviously just kept breaking to the upside. So 2325, keep an eye on. Let's say price comes back into it. If it does respect the same exact way that it's been respecting the past 4 times in a row, if price comes back into this area and we do see that price continues to remain itself above it, you guys are good to continue looking for buys back into the upside. And then let's say that if it doesn't respect and it just continues breaking under, you guys can simply wait for a candle closure. This one, obviously wait for an H1 candle closure. You got to wait for a very strong bearish candle closure like this. You guys already know, go down into a lower time frame, make sure that price remains itself under it, give you guys those proper pullbacks. And if it does respect it, you guys are good to look for buy sell position. Definitely target back into 2304, which will be the first take profit. If this area continues breaking under, the next take profit that I'm eyeing on is going to be the 2270, right? But the 2304, I'll most likely say that we can probably start having the switch of structure once we do end up breaking under the 2304, maybe the 2305. Let me see exactly if it will be clean. Yeah, I think under the 2325 is where we can say that price is already having the potential of switching structure from obviously creating these higher highs and higher lows. So if we do get a candle closure under 2325 from the daily time frame, and we do see that lower time frame just respects it, holds under as resistance, this is where I can tell you now, guys, now that the bias for gold is going to be obviously switching to bearish. But yeah, that's definitely what I'm looking at for this next couple of days with gold and US30. Let me see if I can re-enter back this position tonight. Maybe that's not going to happen tonight, but let me make sure. But that's pretty much it, guys, for this analysis. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.